2 full minutes of opening credits that are somehow even more gooey than 1990s Nickelodeon slime that do nothing for no one. These guys came here either to kick ass or chew bubblegum, and I guess we know which choice they made.
My mommy always said there were no monsters.
There's narration, and then there's this kind of narration, which never shows up again for the remainder of the picture. Excuse me, but it looks like they've somehow cloned Ripley along with her alien baby after she threw herself into the molten steel that the Terminator threw himself in at the end of T2. If you've got the technology to do that, why not just clone the alien itself and take Ripley out of it? Later we find out they did something even stupider by simply crossing the DNA between the 2 species. Jesus Christ! Also, sure, this scalpel is a laser, so it's probably way better than the stupid shit the past uses. But in this scenario, don't you still need to draw a line or something to know where you need to cut? This still requires a steady hand. Also, they're cutting an alien fetus out of Ripley, and they have no idea how such a thing survives. Other than the fact that Ripley is awesome, and it wouldn't be a true alien movie without Sigourney Weaver, why the hell wouldn't they just wait until the alien bursts out of her chest? There are more than enough supposedly unbreakable cells in this facility for that to happen.
How's the host?
Doing well.
Okay, Ripley will live. Just be sure to put her in a literal cocoon so we can fully express what I envision as a butterfly metaphor. I know we doctor types get caught up in the science, but can't we get caught up in the beauty for once?
Sew her back up.
Hold up. You're futuristic enough to have a laser replace a scalpel, but you still have to use stitches to sew someone back up after surgery? Why isn't there another laser for that shit?
You're gonna make us all very proud.
As if we needed proof that these alien-saving assholes were assholes, and as if we needed proof that Ripley is a badass, this doctor gets all Miguel Ferrer and RoboCop up in Ripley's business so this unnecessary shit can go down. Also, did they accidentally get a drop of Xenia Onatop into the Ripley alien cloning process? Because that's the kind of xenophobia I can get on board with. Granted, this weapon puts out a proton pack size electricity bolt, but this is a clear case of a taser cosplaying as a gun. Oh, did you hear? They make these pocket size now.
Hand. Close. Glove.
To be fair, it looks like the artist had a conflict on whether they were drawing a hand or a glove as well.
An unexpected benefit of the genetic process.
You can say it as many times as you like in the script, but it still explains nothing and sounds dumb.
Identification, please.
Introducing futuristic technology into your movie that is so stupid I now have to possibly watch this as a satire, even though it might just be bad.
Bottom line is, she looks at me funny one time, I'm putting her down.
The guy who was more than happy to kill Ripley a minute ago was somehow persuaded not to by the doctors, who provided absolutely no good reason to keep her alive.
How did
we get you?
Well, you see, Alien 3 made $160 million at the box office, which was great for 1992 money. And even though it was intended to be the end of the franchise, Fox's executives saw a big old bag of money where Ripley's ashes were, and here we are. Is this like a Shawshank Redemption maggot that this guy is pulling off Ripley's tray, or is this something that was actually served as dinner? Just to be sure, I'm going to add a sin for the gross worm food and another sin for stealing someone else's gross worm food off their plate.
You can't teach her tricks.
Why not? We're teaching you.
Hey, son, I'll give you my authorization code. It's EATME.
After this, they totally failed to provide a true access code and yet are still allowed to enter the ship anyway.
Hey, don't cut thrust till about 600 meters and we'll give him a little scare.
But this doesn't happen, and I'm wondering why this line is even in the movie if that's the case. The ship very calmly enters the bigger ship and no one gets a scare. Docking, clamping, locking, excitement?
There are no weapons allowed on board, sir.
My own recipe.
This works. When I see something like a rehydratable whiskey, I think, that must be pretty useful in reducing the weight of the cargo when stuff like this is delivered. But mostly I think this movie just wants to have something futuristic in it to establish a synthetic futuristicity.
Whatever you got going on here, it ain't exactly approved by Congress.
Congress still exists in 2381? If we haven't found a more efficient way to govern ourselves 3 centuries from now, maybe we deserve to be eaten by xenomorphs.
Stasis uninterrupted.
Girl interrupted.
MedLab Center is off limits to civilians.
But our gum-chewing guards could have easily told you that. Don't know why I'm doing their jobs. Oh well. Hollywood really missed the boat in the late 90s in getting us an Ellen Ripley versus Snake Plissken one-on-one basketball contest. Think of it. The alien resurrections escape from L.A. Hoop it up, charity ball hog. I don't know why this place needs a whole basketball rack complete with roughly 10 basketballs when all they have is this one hoop in the middle of this very small so-called gym. Why the hell are these space pirates even allowed to see Ripley? Like, I know the alien is the main attraction, but they have plans for Ripley too. The military just lets these fuckers play around with her. Draymond Green.
Something of a predator, isn't she?
Well, no, not until you guys install the armor, the rad weapons belt, and the heat vision that can't see a muddy Arnold Schwarzenegger on her. Jesus Christ, whoever typed up this description really went wild with the ends on ornately and guaranteed. If home shopping networks still exist in 2381, maybe we do deserve to be eaten by xenomorphs. Mainly, I'm just wondering why the USM didn't bother to light the alien's room at all. You're trying to observe the alien, correct? Why so dark? And why didn't you give her any cable TV? Alien vs. Chucky, Antebellum. Monster f***ers. Given the chance to show either excitement or boredom, movie chooses boredom.
Please try again.
This father figure was able to see Carl and Christy trying to go into the medical lab earlier and told them they were not authorized. But for some reason, father can't see unauthorized people here and goes with the breath ID bullshit.
Thank you, General Perez.
Did she carry around a liquefied breath from General Perez? Or are these sensors that easy to fool? This futuristic lockpicking is even dumber than the Empire using the exact same data port in every single base and ship so rebel droids can hack in to help the heroes go where the script tells them.
They've taken it out of you.
At this point, we know that Call knows pretty much everything about this facility, so it's pretty unbelievable that she didn't know they already took the alien out of Ripley. Yeah, let's keep having this conversation in the center of the room where anyone who looks down can see us, instead of moving to the edges out of sight. That's a good plan.
You're a thing. A construct.
Seeing, as we'll eventually learn, Call is a synthetic being, this tone feels a bit hypocritical. And we send hypocrisy extra hard around these parts, especially when it's just so the audience won't guess that she's a cyborg right away. The movie established that Christy had these taxi driver guns earlier on, and we saw how lax the weapons inspection was when these guys got here. But this is lax to the point that I don't even know why there was a weapon inspection scene in this movie in the first place.
And as far as I am concerned, you all die with her!
This guy's performance isn't quite goofy enough to be funny, but it is too goofy to be the right level of serious for an alien movie. Mathematically, it works out to exactly one sin. Christy Happy Gilmore's a bullet that ends up going through this guy's helmet, and could this movie have just told us this was possible before throwing us headfirst into a giant salad of nonsense? Also, if this helmet doesn't stop a single shot, what use is it?
There is a serious problem in the mess hall.
Calling a gym a mess hall. All these aliens snapping at each other and a bunch of close-ups feels like an intrusive game of hungry hippos. Also, I'm not sure what film school teaches this close-up and shaky cam combo, but I think it needs to be shut down. Even more so than the Prometheus school of running away from things. I find it very hard to believe that these scientists had no idea about the acid blood, which was established way back in the first Alien and would definitely be a known fact about them. Just maybe you guys need to fortify these cells to defend against the acid blood.
If those things get loose, it's gonna make the Lacerda plague look like a f***ing square dance.
If square dancing still exists in 2381, perhaps we humans deserve to be eaten by xenomorphs. Did this guy not want to enter the lab on the side where the doctors were? I'm pretty sure he has no idea what happened, so why go straight to the place where the aliens were being held? There could still be a bunch of them in here.
That was easy.
Good luck, soldiers. You might be safe. If the last three movies have taught me anything about escape pods, it's that you've got 50-50 odds of having a sleeping xenomorph facehugger on board or crash landing onto a prison planet in the middle of the most boring script in the franchise. The last guy jumps into the escape pod and for some reason they're not sent on their way immediately, giving time for this alien to jump in there and kill everybody. Earlier, this is what the movie established concerning the escape pods, and while it was confusing as hell, the pod was shot out of the station as soon as the last harness was secured. This grenade roll is lucky as but from this point forward, I have no idea how General Perez knows that A, the grenade went into the pod, and B, that he was successful in blowing up the pod. He's behind a blast door of some sort by the time the pod launches, so he doesn't have a good view of it leaving. Gotta be totally clueless, right? See, that's why I don't waste time collecting every bit of spare ammo and guns in video games. Sometimes it's best just to make do with what you have. Movie just ends Michael Wincott before the 1 hour mark. That's classified as a type A waste of Michael Wincott, you f***s. And there's no excuse for it. We find out in a second that this is Ripley sticking a gun through Elgin's open wound, and that's a great surprise and all, but just how f***ing tall is Ripley to be standing on the lower level and pointing this gun through the floor of the upper level? Maybe I have no idea of the geography here, but that's surely the movie's fault, right?
How many more are there?
12.
12. 12.
Futuristic movie gets clever and makes up a totally fictional number. 12? How much is 12? It's like 11 or something.
She was part of his experiment and she will turn on us in a second.
Okay, I get your hesitance, but did she not just blow away an alien a minute ago?
I can't believe you did that.
Did what?
Call plays the pronoun game so that Ripley has to ask what the hell that is. The movie wants me to be on edge, as if I'd think an alien would take the elevator.
If they send anyone out, it'll be, here. where the meat is.
Say what you will about the later Alien movies, but their best feature continues to be Sigourney Weaver. I f***ing love how unhinged she becomes in the later films. Her transition from warrant officer to get away from her, you bitch, to Xeno clone is just so much fun to watch. One cent off for the most badass woman in cinema.
Earth, man. What a shithole.
Sci-fi characters think Earth is a piece of shit cliche. It's a good thing he got that slow rise close-up of Ripley's ass. Super important shot. If Ron Perlman doesn't accidentally fall on her boobs later, I'll have questions about whether Joss Whedon really wrote this. The movie accidentally inspires a lackluster origin story for Supreme Leader Snoke. And of course there's one left, Ripley 7, who will undoubtedly represent the movie's extremely obvious please kill me scene, since movies about clones can't go without one. Also, I don't know how this genetic crossing between an alien and Ripley somehow created a full-scale Ripley complete with an alien in her chest. Like, if you're combining DNA, how do you even get that result? The fact that she's number 8 and not, like, number 5 million is truly unbelievable. Ripley's flamethrower doesn't trigger any lab safety measures designed to mitigate possible fires. Are you sure you don't want to add some fire suppression measures in this lab?
Don't do it, Ripley.
Don't do what?
Having watched this scene carefully about 12 times, there was also the option to say nothing.
Look, we can't just leave him here.
I thought you came here to stop him from spreading.
Christy would be f***ing amazing at CinemaSins.
And in a few hours, it's gonna burst its way through your rib cage. And you're gonna die. Any questions?
Yeah, I have one. Why did all the other chest bursters hatch before now? And why is this one going to delay for a few more hours? What's it waiting for? Dramatic effect?
Who are you?
I'm the monster's mother.
So wait, she still gets to be coy with her answers after burning down that clone lab a minute ago? Which was supposed to be a symbol of her burgeoning humanity and her battle with alien and human DNA?
Look, he comes with us. We freeze him on the Betty, then the doctor can remove it later.
And then they just agree with that shit, even though Call has the least power of anyone in this group.
Freeze! We gotta lose the chair.
I know.
Earlier, Tuco Salamanca said,
After the cooling tower, there's a freight elevator.
did the climbing down the ladder part escape his mind? I realize he may not be thinking of a man in a wheelchair when he brings up these very simple directions, but you'd think he'd at least mention that there's a tedious part, considering they were looking for the quickest way to the dock.
Must be the cooling tanks!
Water levels. I don't care if it's Mario or Sonic, they're the absolute worst. So here's 3 sins for all of them collectively.
You ready to get wet, partner?
My own personal dialogue when I'm about to have sex somehow makes it into the script. Also, considering the fact that they've been walking through a river with water pouring down all around, I'd say everybody is already wet and do not need to get ready for it. Everybody starts jumping into the water to swim across this kitchen, and I guess every single one of these people can swim, which is absolutely amazing luck. This editing can suck my ass. We see Hillard swimming away from the alien. Here she is from the back. Now we see her face, return to the back, somewhat back to her face engulfed in water. And now here's a random shot of the alien's face with no context of where it actually is, followed by nonsensical footage, followed by a somewhat coherent shot of the alien grabbing her foot. Imagine telling someone the story. Yeah, this lady I knew was swimming. And I don't know, the alien was somewhere. And then I saw its face. And then something, blah, blah, blah. And that's what she got dragged down in the water. By the way, everyone's breath-holding skills are goddamn impeccable during this over 3-minute underwater swim, complete with a huge struggle getting through the alien water membrane thing at the end, which would have reduced their oxygen. Insane in the membrane! Insane in the brain! Damn, either those facehuggers can sense when potential hosts are nearby and open their eggs accordingly, or someone gave these motherfuckers the script so they'd know the best possible time to cause conflict for our protagonists.
It's a goddamn trap! It's a goddamn ambush!
So wait, the aliens just figured out the route everyone was taking and set up all these pods in time to ambush them? When did they learn every aspect of the ship's blueprints and this group's plan to pull this off? All things considered, could they not have renamed Christie with a more proper moniker like Ricochet? Or if you want to be super cheeky, Ricochet? Seems like a wasted opportunity. Okay, so he fired 2 grenades, but I counted at least 5 explosions. Are the eggs themselves highly flammable? Or did the xenomorphs leave more ammunition up here as part of their trap? No.
Get you! Father, lock the door!
Why couldn't he have gotten Father to open the door in the first place? Also, now that we see Ripley trying to open the door, why can't she just do the manual Dr. Glenn just did a second ago? Christie goes about shooting the alien all wrong. He needs to ricochet the bullets, man. You can't just shoot straight. That's linear talk. Also, you gotta love how the movie's explanation for him missing is that the alien dodges slightly while on a ladder. This movie and this alien just figured out they could shoot laser beam acid saliva at people they don't like. And we will never see this again. Hellboy was worried about Ripley wasting ammo a minute ago, and then he uses ammo on a harmless spider. Christie decides to make a sacrifice here, and good for him. But the issue seems to be that the dead alien is still holding onto his foot, and it's weighing down him and the disabled Vries, who is now carrying the load. Can they not just shoot the alien's arm off? Could he maybe try to remove his shoe with his other foot? Is everyone out of ammo? After falling into this pool, as long as Christie can get loose from the alien claw, he should be good, right? I don't know why everyone is acting so shocked. They've all seen Stranger Things. The real reveal here is not that Call survived because she's a cyborg. The reveal is that she survived because she's Winona Ryder. Also, putting your fingers in someone's hole without consent.
I should have known. No human being is that humane.
You should have known when your heightened senses didn't detect a heartbeat when she first appeared in your cell.
Government ordered a recall.
Do we really have to hear the history of this new synthetic technology? Who cares at this point? She's basically Ash and Bishop from the previous movies, and I don't know if we need to get caught up in the .0 part of the conversation.
Great. She's a toaster oven.
Are toaster ovens still in use in 2381? We saw alcohol earlier reliquefied from a dry cube using a laser. You're going to tell me they don't have an advanced equivalent for warming food up? If we don't, maybe we deserve to be eaten by xenomorphs.
You got a socket wrench? Maybe she just needs an oil change.
That's interfacist.
There's ports in the chapel up there.
Putting a data port with mainframe access in your chapel. If you're going to download porn during your religious services, why not just scrap the chapel altogether? Eliminate the middleman or middlewoman. I'm not judging. It's not surprising that they have an Amazon Fire Holy Bible here. But what I found curious is that this version was edited in 1901?
Try to clear us a path to the Betty and start her up.
I'll buy her clearing you a path, but why would she be able to start the Betty from this ship's data port? Is the Betty hardwired to this ship's mainframe?
I knew if they succeeded, it'd be the end of them.
Why do you care what happens to them?
Because I'm programmed to.
So, just before the recall, how convenient, Call decided to hook up to the mainframe, how convenient, and she discovered everything the government was up to, how convenient. And because she's, quite conveniently I might add, programmed to protect government employees, that's why she's here? How convenient!
But I plan to live past today.
Saying the one thing that will ensure you do not live past today. What's that? He doesn't die in this movie? Huh. Well, I guess here's a sin for defying the laws of cinema. Yeah, that was her slime hand.
I hear them.
Funny that you couldn't hear them when they chased you through the cooling tower 20 minutes ago. With all those senses, Ripley didn't notice the alien directly underneath her.
Best thing he can do is pray for a quick death.
Speak for yourself, bucko.
It's up to you now, Cole. I need you to patch into the ship again and open the hatch.
Granted, I know nothing about this particular spaceship, but why would you need the computer to open the ship for you? Is it because Michael Wincott and his girlfriend, the pilot, got killed? Did they have the keys? Of course this guy's water broke, and he's due for his chest bursting exactly now. It's going to function as both a needless complication they could have avoided and a deus ex machina for the current situation.
I told you. At first, everything was normal.
Here at the Alien Queen Bar and Bistro, the locals often arrive early for happy hour. But the stories they tell are anything but.
That is Ripley's gift to her. A human reproductive system.
So wait, if the alien has a human reproductive system, would that not require her to be inseminated before getting pregnant with a child? And maybe she did get inseminated, but I'm still giving a sin because I didn't get to see the insemination or the XXX throwdown. You called it Ripley's gift to the queen, but I'm not sure forcing her to go through labor pains and childbirth is exactly a gift when she previously could just lay eggs. Seems like more of a punishment to me.
Look, it thinks you're its mother.
Well, that's okay. Babies are stupid. I mean, this child was literally standing in the alien queen's womb a minute ago and decided to karate chop their mother's face off. And wouldn't this be Ripley's grandchild? Ripley was carrying the queen, wasn't she? Anyway, please have a My Sister, My Daughter scene. I'm begging you. Look, say what you will about this hellspawn. They hate aliens. They hate humans. Loves their mom. As Ripley runs through the ship to get to the Betty, I've got to ask, where the f*** are the other aliens that are wandering around here? They just excused themselves from the movie after the swimming scene.
Ripley!
Why does the Betty have access to a camera down this random hallway? Is it the Betty's camera? Or did the Betty steal visuals from the Auriga?
Why are we still here?
You're probably right, Ripley, but did you not just make a mad dash to the ship hoping it hadn't flown away yet?
You can't fly one of these things too, can you?
Are you kidding? This piece of shit is even older than I am.
So, is that a no? Can or can't you fly it? There's no f***ing way this dickhead made it here. Didn't Ripley have to jump across a huge gap to even get on the ship? How did this f***er make it in time? How did he even know where to go? Also, this suggests Ripley closed the hatch and either didn't make sure it closed all the way just as the alien-human hybrid made it jump for it and made it, or the alien-human hybrid was late and had enough strength to lift the hatch by themselves. On their way, fuck you, movie. Footage of me trying to get one of my cats out from under the sofa somehow makes its way into the movie.
Put it down!
This is almost like the ending of Friday the 13th Part 2, when Jenny pretends to be Jason's mother. And it works. It's not as egregious as that, because this movie established that the child thinks Ripley is their mother. But mostly I just want to make a Friday the 13th Part 2 in here, so I have no choice. Man, I haven't seen an ending this sad since Marley and Me.
2, 1. Thank you.
I like how this movie shows one goddamn alien in some nondescript area of the ship as a reminder of why the ship is crashing to Earth in the first place. Because everyone watching this movie probably forgot there were still others around. Also, why does the ship's computer say thank you at the end of this countdown? Who's that for? The people who decided to stay behind while the ship crashes? The gaping hole that was left behind when Ripley murdered her child makes me wonder how these two survived the heat of re-entry.
You saved the Earth.
Ripley, please do a check around the ship first before you say that. There are numerous ways that aliens stowed away on this ship while you weren't looking.
What happens now?
Well, Whedon will write a 5th film. James Cameron will try to make his own, and both will end up being killed by a crossover event. Things will get worse before they get better, Cole. And eventually, the Prometheus school of running away from things will be born. We'll leave the light on for ya.
Anybody order fried sauerkraut?
Number 8? Number 8?
Square.
Good guess, but wrong.
You killed my father. Your ass is mine.
I want to send that one out to Diamond Dave and Billy the bass player and all the babes at the Valley View Mall.
Who are you?
I'm Batman.
He had a gun. He made me do it. He put that thing on me. And he made me wear it.
I have a sentimental weakness for my children, and I've spoiled them, as you can see. They talk when they should listen.
Tight, yeah! Blue, yellow, pink. Whatever, man, just keep bringing me that.
I'm cutting your head. I'm cutting your head.